The girl, who was washing her face, suddenly felt something was wrong, and looking at herself in the mirror, she let out a scream of horror. The girl's best friend next door came at the sound, but found that the girl had turned into a fat hen. The girl's parents didn't believe their best friend's words. They put the hen in the chicken coop, and then enjoyed the eggs she laid every day. The girl told her grandson George about her childhood encounter decades later, and then she went on to say that the girl had become a hen because she had been compelled by a witch to eat a piece of evil chocolate. George understood that his grandmother had made up this story to scare himself not to eat things given by strangers, and he was not a 3-year-old child. This year has been 7 years old, which is so stupid. The next day the grandchildren went to the supermarket. George was going to buy a box of nails to build a new home for his new pet mouse Daisy, and then something horrible happened.
Sweet.
What happened? Did Grandma hire actors to scare himself? George was dumbfounded when his grandmother came to him, and the woman in the green dress suddenly disappeared. After returning home, George told his grandmother about the scene just now. Grandmother was terrified. The girl was turned into a hen turned out to be real, and in this world, witches are also real. They hate children very much, and once they are targeted, then sooner or later they will meet with misfortune. Grandma hurriedly packed her bags, took George into town and stayed in a big hotel. Witches do not attract attention, usually only pick those poor black children. For the rich white children, they will not do. After checking in, the two of them had a good night's rest. The next morning George thoughtfully ordered a breakfast for his grandmother, who was very touched. At the same time a group of celebrities came to the hotel, and each of them is a horrible witch. George was in the conference room as where they conduct meetings. This is a group of noble ladies, but their real identity is a witch at the order of the elder. They took off their gloves to reveal their horrible fingers, then took off their high heels to free their only toes, and George, who was hiding under the stage, was directly frightened. Then the next more horrible scene appeared. The price of being a witch is really too high. The elder opened her big mouth and began to brainwash the witches. Children are the most annoying thing in the world. No matter what method must make them disappear. At the end of the story, a witch suddenly got up and interrupted the elder's speech. The elder then took out a bottle of blue potion. Let the witches go back and open a candy store. As long as you add a drop of the potion in the candy, you can make a small child become a mouse after an hour. 2 drops will become half an hour. 3 drops that is instantly transformed into a mouse. Hearing this perfect plan, the conference room erupted in applause. The elder added a drop of potion to a piece of chocolate in the hall just now, and then gave it to a greedy little fat boy, and used 8 pieces of chocolate to lure him to come to the meeting room in 2 hours. There are still 10 minutes. The witches can witness the effect of the medicine, but at the time of their excitement, the elder suddenly noticed the anomaly, confirmed the taste of a child. She overturned the stage, but there was nothing underneath. Then she looked at the vent in front of her, and the knock on the door suddenly sounded at the critical moment. Little Fatty came. Looking at the chocolate in the hands of the elder, he walked in step by step, and then the excited witches wanted to trample him directly to death. George, who was hiding in the vent, was about to rush out to save him, but Daisy spoke up at that time.
I'll fetch him.
It turns out she was also turned into a mouse by the witches. Under George's shocked gaze, Daisy grabs the little fat one by the tail and saves him back to the vent. Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, the elder found George, and the witches certainly didn't spare any small children. With 3 drops of potion into George's ears, he was instantly transformed into a mouse and caught by the elder by the tail. At the critical moment Daisy came forward again, first biting the elder hard, and then saving George. The 3 rats desperately escape and fall down the ventilation pipe at the last moment. The crisis was temporarily lifted, and the 3 rats led by George went first through the kitchen, then into the elevator, hitching a ride on a woman's bag to the floor where Grandma lived, then used the cleaning cart to climb the wall, and finally build a rat ladder. Finally ringing the doorbell, unexpectedly, the cleaning lady found them. This is not 3 rats, this is 3 human beings. They are about to die under the broom. The key moment finally opened the door. They escaped into the room and told Grandma what had just happened. George then said that the room of the elder which was below theirs, and he was going to steal a bottle of potion to let Granny see if she could develop a cure. After the elder left the room, with the help of the grandmother, George came to the room downstairs and succeeded in getting the potion. But the next moment the elder suddenly returned. George rushed to escape, but halfway through the elder found. Looking at the grandmother upstairs, the elder feel very familiar. It turns out that she is the witch who turned the grandmother's best friend into a hen. She wanted to check what was hidden in the socks. Suddenly the doorbell suddenly rang and George escaped, but unfortunately, the potion configured by the elder has no antidote at all, which means that all 3 rats can't turn back into humans. Just when Grandma was sad, George said that although he could not change back, but they must stop the witches, or there will be more children encounter them. After careful planning, George sneaks into the kitchen and pours the potion back into the dinner prepared for the witches when the cooks are not looking. Granny leads them to the dining room and begins to quietly wait for the next scene. Drinking potion witches one by one into a rat. Next to the instant chaos, the restaurant staff rushed to pick up tools to shoot, while the grandmother took the opportunity to come to the elder room intended to destroy all the potion. But unfortunately the elder did not get hit. She stretched both arms ready to directly kill the grandmother. At the critical moment 3 rats made a move. They first used a mouse trap to clip the only toe of the elder. While the elder pain open wide mouth, they put the mouse trap as a springboard. The elder pain bitter unable to dodge. The little rats filled her mouth with the potion. The elder who turned into a mouse was still fierce and tried to kill George, Daisy and Fatty directly, and Granny then used the cup to shut it inside. The crisis is finally lifted. Looking at the room, tens of millions of cash, grandmother and the 3 rats to reveal a smile of excitement, and before leaving, but also released the elder's beloved cat. Listening to the sound of screaming in the room, 1 person 3 rats as relieved, and then they began a rich and happy life.